Well, good afternoon. It's Longhaultanker, straight razor shaving with Longhaultanker. And as you might be able to tell, I am at home in my master bathroom, just off the master bedroom, and just having a good morning. I had a good relaxing morning this morning with my wife and a cup of coffee and all that. And so we're going to do a face shave and a head shave, and I'll introduce the equipment in a moment. We're going to continue with our Dear Mikey diaries. At least I'm going to do a little segment here, and I'll probably do. I've already set up my other camera iPhone stand in the bedroom where I keep my strops, and I'll probably do a little stropping video, a little tutorial for Mikey and for my own. It's just the way I do it. It's no big deal. Okay, here we go. So I've not showered this morning, and so I have got approximately just over 36 hours worth of growth. Not quite 48 hours worth of growth, and I've already soaked my face several times, well, 3 times to be precise, and I'm going to do a couple of more here because I'm going to use some pre-shave oil. I haven't put it on yet. I'm going to put another hot rag on my face. Okay. There's that. Put the rag back in the water. Gentlemen, the label's all soaked up in oil, but Gentleman Hager, nothing expensive. I'm not sure what kind of oil it is. There's a Japanese oil that's very popular for this sort of thing. I can't remember. Cannella, I think I said that close to right, or you'll get the idea. Cannella oil. You may have seen me a couple of videos ago. I just use ordinary baby oil, mineral oil. And so I'm going to use this pre-shave oil here, and I'm going to just put 2 or 3 drops in my hand. Whoops, don't let it run away. And put a hot towel over this. As I've seen Barber Dave do, and other professional barbers videos do. And so the oil's on my face. Take the hot rag again. Now, it's not as hot as it would be as if it might came out of a steamer or a microwave. Okay, we'll let that sit for a minute and introduce the equipment. We're going with all the good stuff today. I'm using my best razor, and I'm using what I think is one of my very best soaps. And so for the razor this morning, I'm using the Boker Count Engelbert. It's approximately a 7/8. It's got beautiful gold on it, nice etching. There's a little etching of Count Engelbert II himself. It's got nice sculpting on the spine, and it has just absolutely beautiful blonde horn scales, 3-pin, and I re-honed it this morning. I didn't need to. It was honed up on a black Arkansas, which leads to one of the little mini discussions. Oh, for my soap. Let's hold that. My soap this morning is Norton de Candre Vetyver. Just absolutely wonderful fragrance on it. And I have not soaked it, and so I'm going to go dry with it, just like I did the, what was that I was using? A Barrister and Man, the Full Measure of Man. I was soaking it, and it was getting too soft. It was coming off in clumps, the soap in clumps into the brush. And then the couple of times I used it, 2 or 3 times I used it after that, I used it dry, and I got much more satisfactory results. And I also didn't give it as many swirls, about 10 seconds or so. And I didn't pull off as much soap, and it wasn't thick and pasty. It was nice and creamy. But, okay, so we got the soap, we got the razor, oh, the brush. And our brush, I said the very best of what we've got. We're using the Plisson number 20, which is a 30 millimeter high mountain white brush, and in genuine horn handle. And so we're going to let that continue to soak here. But now that leads me to where I want to go in the discussion and just show you. As I said, the Count Engelbert razor, the Boker razor, was I had it honed up on and it was shaving quite nicely. The Dan's Whetstone hard black, also known as surgical black. And I could never remember which of my razors were honed up on which Arkansas. I've got 3 Arkansas. I've got the, and there's a video somewhere before April. I did a video on my stones. And so I have the Dan's Whetstone hard black, surgical black. I have the true hard, which is a variegated color of the light gray through black, and which is not a translucent. It's not, you can't pass light through it. I was going to get my flashlight, but I rehoned on my translucent. Now, you may say, well, it's got a lot of colors in there. You know, it's got the orange, and it's got the light gray, and it's got some little darker striping going on in the stone. But you can take my word for it that this is a genuine, translucent, light passes through every segment of this stone. I know I've done it several times. And this is from Norton. This is a Norton, what's that say? Hard translucent Arkansas bench stone, and it's a 8 by 3 by ½ inch, and it's a wonderful stone. But I could never remember which of my razors that I actually had honed up on it. So what I decided to do initially when I got home was to take all of my union razors, the razors that I use for my head shaves, and hone them up, rehone them up on this translucent. So I could say this was honed up on a translucent. And so I pulled out the Boker, knowing that I was going to use all my best equipment this morning, or so, you know, certainly the Boker razor and the soap and the horn, the Plisson are all my very best equipment. And so I decided to, when I pulled out the Boker, that I said, you know, I've got my hone out and it's oiled up. And so let's just, I put about 200 laps on it, sitting in my comfort chair in the master bedroom, watching a little TV. And I went for approximately about 2 segments on the television program, which would be about, 30 minutes maybe. Let's put some hot water back on my face and get the oil going. All right, now. And so, as I say, about 200 laps, which leads to a brief 1 or 2 back and forth YouTube message exchange with Dr. Matt 357. Now, let me start off by saying that Dr. Matt's a great guy, at least according to his videos and the persona that he puts off. He seems like and I respect him. I respect him a lot. His video history on YouTube is second to none. And so, whether it's his shaves or whether it's his honing videos, they're just top notch. They're among the very best on the internet. And so what I'm fixing to say is by no means a criticism. In fact, he even agreed with me. And I know what he said, and I believe I know why he said it. All right, we went for about 10 seconds there, 15 seconds on the Vetyver, and we're just going to wipe it off. And so his most recent video, as of last night, he took a razor, he honed it up, and made mention of the art. I think he finished it. In fact, I'm more focused on the conversation that I am on what he actually said, except this one thing that caught my attention. And he said it with a bit of a smile, and like he does, you know, he's got this engaging smile, and he made reference to the Black Arkansas as a ultra fine. And if you look at Dan's website and you look at the descriptions of the stones, they'll give different grading of words, and I emphasize the word words, for the translucent and the hard, true hard, and the hard black. Words like ultra fine or extra fine. And I have been to Dan's Whetstone, and on another forum that I'm not actively a part of now, I gave quite a write-up regarding my visit to Dan's Whetstone, and they are the salt of the earth people. In that thing that I wrote on the website, on the forum, and it's been about 5-6 years. And I call them from time to time, and they invite me back. And then I said, how many truck drivers have driven their truck, 18-wheeler tanker, up into your parking area? And they said, oh, only one. You're well, I'm that guy. Oh, okay, how you doing and all that. And so they are salt of the earth people. The company, Dan's Whetstone, is owned by a gentleman, let's see if I get the last name, Kirshman. Dan Kirshman owns it, and it's largely a family-run business. He's got, if I remember correctly, 2 sons, that one's in kind of the finance market, not marketing, but maybe marketing, the finance end of it, and the other one is more in the production. And it's him, Steve Kirshman, that when I got up in there for the visit, him and one of the ladies spent 2 to 3 hours with me, and they showed me the production facility and the big saw that they cut the stones with, and it was a wonderful trip that I will never forget. But he and I had quite the discussion about Arkansas stones and the grading of the stones, particularly the high-end stones, the true hard, the translucent, and the hard black. And the important thing here is that he said that the most that I can say is that all of these are graded by the USGS scale that they use, are all graded 2.5 plus on that scale. To say anything more than that is unscientific unless you have individually measured your stone, which now becomes all anecdotal, doesn't it? My stone's better than your stone. Well, that might be true, but let's prove it. And dunk it in water, and however they do that little flotation thing that they do. Yours might be a 2.6. Yours might be a 2.7. But they're incremental differences that don't mean a whole lot. Despite one fella saying that, oh, mine's 1,000 times better. Really? Have fun with that. And so the best that you can say about any of the high-end, true hard, translucent, and hard black is that the best you can say is that it measures a minimum of 2.5 plus on the USGS scale. Now, what that tells me, and he confirmed that all of them, the three categories that I just mentioned, are all essentially the same stone. Unless you individually measure and do the scale thing and say, mine is 2.7 or 2.8. And okay, good, yippee yahoo. But in terms of practical honing, practical usage, there's essentially no difference between the three categories. Now, here's something else that's very important to understand in relation to, because I made this same statement. What I just said, I said in reply to Dr. Matt on the YouTube post, that there's no essential difference between the three. And he said, yeah, I know you're right. Yeah, I know you're right. Now, he used the word ultrafine, which comes right off of Dan Whetstone's website in reference to the hard black. Ultrafine. Those are all marketing terms. When you see between the three categories of true hard, translucent, and hard black, they use the different terms, extra fine, ultra fine. Those are marketing terms for whatever reason. Oh, this is just. Those are all marketing terms for sales purposes and have no basis in reality of in grading the stones that this one's a little bit better than that one. Because they're not. And in 7 years of straight razor shaving and honing, and in the last 5 to 6 years that I've owned all three of the grades of stones, I will say that the translucent that I just showed you being a Norton, but it's a translucent, right? And if it's a translucent, it must measure at least 2.5 on the USGS scale. And I will say that Norton, when I purchased it off of eBay, in the description made no reference to its USGS scale. Oh, this is like butter. Now, let me continue on with what I was saying. And that is, he made reference, let me see if I get this right. Who was it? Somebody said, I'm pretty sure it was Dr. Matt that said, I may be wrong, that said, they make a big deal out of that. That's not right. Oh, well, I'll think of it in a second. Oh, the burnishing. Yes, it was Dr. Matt. We were talking about the burnishing. And I don't know if Dan had been there or talked to him on the phone or what, but Dan told him that if you're burnishing the stone, you're using it all wrong. Understand, these people know nothing about straight razors. They're the salt of the earth people. They're great, wonderful people, but they don't know anything about straight razor shaving, straight razor honing. Now, those of us in the straight razor honing community, when we buy these Dan's stones, or any Arkansas stone for that matter, we go to great lengths to burnish them, to polish them. And we understand the value that that brings to the stone. We want a smooth, polished edge. To get a smooth, polished, we polish the stone, in the Arkansas stone, in order to get a smooth, polished edge on the razor. They're made for hunting knives. They do a whole lot with flint knapping and other medical and scientific purposes for their stones, not straight razor shaving. We represent about that bit of a sliver in the usage of those stones. And so they have no knowledge. They've even admitted to me, we have no knowledge of how these are used in straight razor honing. My soap's getting dry. And that's okay. They have a market. They're satisfying a market for their purposes, and frankly, not ours. And it's only incidental and or serendipitous that their stones, and there's a long history and tradition of Arkansas stones being used by straight razor honers. And that goes back for decades. Maybe even longer than that. They don't know, and they don't really care, because they're selling to another market and have no knowledge. And so for, bless his heart, Dan saying that we're using the stone all wrong, and it would take somebody with enough gravitas, like Dr. Matt 357, or others, to go to them and say, look, here's how but they don't care, because they got another market that they're attempting to satisfy. I got one of their ladies to, jokingly, I was talking to them and I was razzing with them, and I said, you folks really don't know too much about the straight razor community, do you? And she said, no, we really don't. I said, I'll tell you what, designate me as your unofficial straight razor ambassador, and I'll answer any questions that people bring to you. And they said, oh, okay. But I was joking with them, and I knew it was all silly. I wish you could feel what I'm feeling right now off of this Norton translucent. There was nothing wrong with this before on the Dan's Hard Surgical Black. But I wanted to use the translucent to kind of make a point. And I'm sure there's no significant difference between Norton's translucent and Dan's translucent, because it's got to be rated at least 2.5 to be a translucent, not to mention the light passing through it. And so I want to say to Dr. Matt 357, appreciate all your good work. Appreciated the little exchange that we had yesterday, which, you probably get 100 emails a day. And your little exchange with me is probably unmemorable. And that's okay. That is okay. Just exchanging with you. We've had 2 or 3 exchanges, Dr. Matt, maybe more over the years. And I've always appreciated your work. And I have learned so much from you about honing and the shaving. Just what I tell others that I run across, beginners and such. And people, I say run across, people that on the internet in some form or fashion, watch Dr. Matt 357. He will teach you more, and even more than you want to know, about honing and shaving. I've always been an advocate of watching, since I took this hobby up 7 years ago, of watching others, how they do things. And Mikey, here's a note. Watch the guys. Watch the ones that, it's not hard. Type in straight razor shaving on the search engine at YouTube and pick the ones that interest you. And certainly I will be forwarding you links of those that were most influential to me and who I think represent the best tradition, skill, and tradition at straight razor shaving. We'll talk about honing later as your interests and pocketbook allow, or father-in-law's generosity forwards to you some hones. And I've got a couple in mind. I don't know that they're the best ones to forward to you, but I don't know who's going to get this after I'm gone. But they're going to hit the jackpot if they're that interested, and they've got to be interested in the straight razor shaving and honing tradition. They just have to be. Otherwise, who am I going to leave all this stuff to? It gets sold on eBay to the highest bidder, have no idea. I would rather give them to an active forum user who does videos, who's already neck deep into it, a young guy, who maybe has been into the hobby 3 or 4 years. He's making videos. I'm not going to call anybody by name, but I got a couple of guys. One in particular that I respect very highly, young guy. But, we all get sick and we all die. That may be a newsflash. But what's a person going to do with all this stuff that they've got? I don't know. Not sell it on eBay. Now, if you're watching me on YouTube and let me say thank you. Hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you so desire. Be courteous, kind, friendly, and I'll be the same in return or not. Then go on over to the Shaving Candre and take a look at them. See if you'd like to make an account, participate in all the frivolity that we're doing over there. And we got Handle Barber Dave, and we've got Major Rich, and we've got Nurse Dave, and we've got Bill M, and the Cutthroat Journey, and Shooting the Shave, and a couple of others. We need more videos from them, in my opinion, and that's Fenster Shaves and Scuttle Soap. And then last but not least, very talented young man by the name of Lukey3262, also known as Matt. Now I want to make special mention of another fella, which is the second email I got, YouTube message, overnight. It came in this morning, or I read it this morning. And I respect this guy, and I don't even understand a single word he says when he's doing his videos. Foreign language, I think it's Greek. I don't even know how to pronounce his first name, Nintos or Titos or something. But the last name is Stamadiades. That's how I refer to him, Stamadiades. And skill. He's a right-handed shaver. He does not use the left hand. Nonetheless, a very entertaining, in my opinion. You know, I mean, how entertaining is watching somebody shave with a straight razor? Well, I think it's enormously entertaining, especially if he's showing skill. He could be entertaining by saying things that are entertaining. But if you can't understand him because he doesn't speak English, how do you understand him? How do you know, what is it that makes him, that draws you to him? And to me, it's just the skill. The ease with which he uses a straight razor, right-handed, both sides of the face, with the grain, against the grain, is second to none. And I would compare him, also a right-handed shaver, to Matty Lindholm out of Sweden, who, by his own admission, he does speak English of a sorts. And when he has particular trouble, he will write it in English on the screen and say, here's what I meant to say. And, you know, but he's fun. He has a bubbly personality. I'm talking about Matty Lindholm now. Has a bubbly personality. He keeps you engaged all the way. He has some of the best, you know, advice for beginners type stuff. But Stamadiades is just, he's talented at using the straight razor. He has a couple of honing videos that he does as well. But over the last year, he's only done 2 or 3 videos. He's kind of dropped off the radar. He did one a month or 2 ago and another month or 2 before that. But he wrote me this morning. You know, that's kind of nice. He's writing. Anyway, he was apparently watching one of my videos where I'm using the Whacker Old Sheffield, and he wanted to know how it compared to other razors in my collection. And I know that Stamadiades has a Boker Count Engelbert, and with a good edge, which Whacker can take a good edge and hold a good edge. My old Sheffield is as good as this razor, and it's pretty fashionable in its own right. it may not have a lot of gold, it doesn't have any gold on it, but it's a barber's notch. It's got nice etching on the face. It's a thinner razor. The old Sheffield is thinner at the spine than this razor is, but it's a lovely razor and shaves very well. And if I remember right, I've got it honed up on a conical edge right now. So let me just say right now to Mr. Stamatides, much respect to you, buddy. Appreciate your videos. Keep doing them. Come back stronger than before. And it's okay to do, just look at me. It's okay to do more than one video using the same razor and same equipment. Just keep doing them because you're teaching people, young and old alike, experienced or novice alike. And that's a good thing. You're doing a good job. So all my equipment is just performing excellently. Getting a little thin on the soap, and I may have to double dip here in a minute. This razor is shaving so effortlessly. I'm amazed. Did I do that? And I did it on this Norton translucent. Now this Norton translucent that I showed you a bit ago is a very beautiful stone with all of its colors and orange and variegations. I've never seen a translucent look like that before, and I got it off of eBay for $99. Now, how in the world I got that off of eBay for $99, I will never know. Somebody must have fallen into a lot of them. I use that in the sales and marketing sense. I don't mean just a bunch. I mean a lot, L-O-T, of them. I think I heard what was a car door outside. Yeah, my wife is home. She had gone to the dentist about an hour or so ago, hour and a half maybe. Yeah, she's knocking around in the kitchen now. She loves her kitchen, and that's just fine by me, because I benefit. I don't deny my wife anything that she wants for the kitchen. Mixers, utensils, knives, whatever she wants. I keep her knives sharp for her. I'm not the best kitchen knife. By comparison, honing razors is simpler, in my opinion. I hope you can hear that. It's singing out real good. On my camera.
Oh.
You know, let's see. I'm going to take a few swirls here more off the soap. because I will be doing a head shave here in a little bit, and I want to have plenty of soap on the brush. And it was running just a little bit thin, as you can see. I love this brush. It's just wonderful. The bristles aren't quite as soft as the QED Manchurian silver tips, but once it's wet, it performs just wonderfully. So anyway, back to Mr. Stamatides. Great shaver, talented man, entertaining, skills beyond belief, in my opinion. And he's worth emulating. The only thing is, I wish he'd use the left hand, but that's neither here nor there. All right, okay, had to think about where I was. That is just phenomenal. We may be a little long today because I've been talking and got the... We're going to do the head shave. More talking, I'm sure, along the way here. The thing about straight razor shaving, note to Mikey, is it's fun, it's relaxing, it does require time. It's not a quick, cartridge razor kind of shave. It's the kind of shave that you take your time at. And speaking of which, check out Dapper Shave's most recent video, as of yesterday, where he's in some kind of a, I figured out that he's from South Africa. And so he's wearing a white shirt and necktie and some kind of a silk jacket. Looks like a smoking jacket or a evening jacket for a man. And it's got lapels on it like a suit jacket or a sports coat. And he shaves it. And he talks about this whole mental state thing. And of course, he's right on. And he's got a good, it's just, again, it's one of these novel, entertaining things. Good lather, good razor, good shave, as he always does. And I like to keep up with these guys too, especially the international guys that are doing a good job. Because nobody likes to be alone. and not know, well, I really am a part of something here, aren't I? Well, yeah. And you can write back and forth. Dapper Shaves, I've shot him a couple of YouTube messages. He shot me a couple of YouTube messages. He even subscribed to my channel just a few days ago. That's why I like being a part of the Shaving Cadre, is because I may not talk about everything they talk about, but there's so many different things to talk about. And I'll tell you, it's less shaving. Some forums are just so enmeshed into the technicality of how to hone, how to shave, do this, don't do that, do it my way, you're doing it wrong. No. It's a very personal experience. You have to develop your own style. That's not to say that there aren't some basic fundamentals that one should try to master. This is supposed to be fun, and it is. It's a lot of fun. That is just unbelievable. I am having a lot of fun with this shave today. I'm using my very best equipment, the Boker Count Engelbert, and the Plisson. And the Vetyver from Norton de Candre. And it's just lathering up wonderfully. I've got a new item that I want to get as soon as Mama says I can spend the money. I want to get those 3 new soaps from Dovo, and in the cork-topped jars that they've got, and they're about $40. I was just looking on Jared's, the Superior Shave website, and I remember a few weeks ago he did a shave where he was introducing those soaps, and I've been looking at them ever since. Oh, and somebody I don't hardly ever mention, but I do watch him from time to time. The guy's name is Matt from the Shaving Emporium. Had a real nice straight razor shave and discussion about Dovo products. And I learned some things about Dovo, and so I'm going to be a little bit more friendly to Dovo. I've always been a fan of the Bismarck anyway. But Matt, he'll even tell you on that video, just from the last couple of days, where he's talking about the Dovo, he says, I'm not a straight razor shaver. He said, I probably use one 2 or 3 times a year. And that's true. That's why I don't watch him that often, but he's in my watch list. And when he comes up with a new video, I always, the notification always comes up, and I always take a quick look to see what it's about. And if it's not about straight razor or related, I'm off to the next one. Because I'm, call me a purist. I am all about the straight razor. New production, vintage. I love the straight razor. So why waste my time on anything else? Now, I don't know if you caught what I just did there. I gave, instead of just coming straight up, I gave it a right to left push, like that. Anyway, I'll come back to that. Beginner's note to Mikey, did you notice how I use my tongue to push out my lower lip? Like that? That helps get that area real smooth. and mapping the whisker growth on your face, I know that when I do that, I can feel, I got some whiskers right in here that grow from center to right, and they go off this way. And so I got to be sure to get them when I'm going against the grain, going from right to left or right to up. I do a little swooping move, if you want to say it that way. All right, we're doing just fine. Little 1 hour and 1 minute. We're going a little long. I posted up 2 videos yesterday. One was from a couple of nights ago, as I was coming in from California. At Fort Stockton, Texas, and then the other one from night before last, when I laid over on the yard before coming home and did a shave up in the driver's lounge men's room. And so it has been, that was, it's about 7 o'clock or so. Night before last. Today's Friday, so that'd be Wednesday night when I got in. I'm going to be on breakdown here. My truck has got 2 problems, and I've detailed those, and I'll mention them again here in a minute. Oh, that's not where I want to start. I'm keeping my blade very flat. I can even feel the spine on the backside on my face. So lay the blade flat or as close to flat. The left side of my mustache is where I had the most difficulty in that maneuver right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's wipe it off and see what we got. I'll tell you, straight razor shaving, since I've taken it up these many years now, it's just one of the funnest things I do. I don't mind taking a long time. And I'm going to bet that those of you that watch me enjoy watching how much fun I'm having doing it. And I hope you're having as much fun as I am. And not worrying about the time, not worrying about, make sure you give allot yourself enough time to do your shave. All right, let's do okay. I got to remind myself, razor in the right hand, Allen block in the left hand for the right side of the face, on the fingers. Okay, and come this way. Okay, under the chin. Feels good. All right, now we swap. Razor in the left hand, Allen block in the right hand for the left side of the face. Oh yeah, that feels real good. All right. Another wipe off here. Okay. I think I may have just stained my razor. I don't know if you can. You see that stain right here? Let's put that down in the water, do it again. I think I seem to remember reading somewhere that the alum block, the alum can have effect upon the steel of the razor. And so Anybody that knows anything about that, feel free to drop a line or, yeah, that's unfortunate. Yeah, yeah, there's a good picture. There's a spot up toward the top near the spine, and then there's a line that comes down toward the point, and it looks like there's a bit of a stain, and that wasn't there before, and I'm afraid that the alum block may have done that. And I hope that I'm going to spend a moment rubbing that, but I don't see it coming off. I don't see it coming off, so okay. As I say, I seem to remember something about alum block coming into contact with the steel, and it may have effect. And so that's my fault if I did that. Oh well, it's my razor, and I don't feel good about it, but all right, let's go to the head shave, and I'm using the Union razor, 6/8 round point, and last night I spent about an hour, and especially with my hard stones like the Arkansas or the conical, I'll just sit in front of a TV, put on one of my favorite shows, and I don't count laps. I just go until I feel that it's done, and it's usually anywhere from 30 to 45 to 60 minutes as I'm watching a favorite show, and I'm just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. If I'm using a conical, I'll whip up a slurry, and I've got my squirt bottle, I've got my lap covered in a towel, and I just go to work on it. And when I start feeling the grabbing and the what some call the stiction, and I did see Keith Johnson, his remarks recently about stiction. And I've factored those in, and I'm just, you listen to what people have to say, and I like and respect Keith Johnson on honing very much. Keith V. Johnson is how you'll find him on YouTube, and as I say, I respect him very much, and I'm not ever going to say anything to contradict him because I just don't know. I don't know. And I listened to him. He's not a big fan of stiction. That is not a good, if I understood him correctly, that's not necessarily a good indicator of when your razor is done. Now, he was talking mostly about, I believe it was Arkansas. I think he was making a broader application than just Arkansas, which I took him to mean conicals. And of course, he's a big Japanese natural sort of guy. And that's okay. I mean, I'm just an amateur layman. I listen to what everybody, if you're putting yourself out there as a competent, I was going to say expert, and that's okay. I regard Keith Johnson as an expert. And I'm listening. But the stiction thing has always worked well for me. And I mean no disrespect in contradicting him. And I don't believe that I am contradicting him. All I'm saying is I don't know. It's interesting. I listen to him. I'm not set up with big microscopes and things like that. And so, even though I may not be as simple as I sometimes portray myself to be as a truck driver, yes, I'm more than a truck driver. And by no means the dullest knife in the box. I just drive my wife crazy. And even my friends, I just had a row with one of my friends. Because because I kept asking questions. Well, this don't make sense. This and this don't add up, and so, and you just can't leave things unresolved. When you're having a conversation and somebody is arguing for a contradictory position, you can't leave those things unresolved. Here's point A, here's point B, they don't fit. In order to get from here to here, you've got to go through a whole bunch of circuitous nonsense that don't add up. And so one of the two propositions now, if you're using pure logic, must be false. You cannot hold two contradictory propositions without being irrational. But you have to have a good, strong, understanding, or at least some understanding of the propositions that you're arguing for. I digress significantly. But most people, quite honestly, most people don't think that way. They don't live on that level. And I do. I will tell you, I do. Self-contradictory propositions will not fly with me. But you have to take the time to explain why they're self-contradictory and show the falsity of one or the other or both of the Oops. I may have gotten myself back there a little bit. Nope, no blood yet. And oftentimes people don't want to have that kind of discussion. Oh, you're just full of beans, or worse. But we'll get over it, I'm sure, my truck driving buddy. When we both get back out on the road and have those long, endless hours of driving and you're bored out of your mind, say, I think I'll call my buddy. And we will. Nope, no blood. That's a good thing. I got some accoutrements laid out here that I'm going to be applying after the shave. For my finale and the application of the refinements, we got some things laid out over here. I'm going to move closer to the mirror so I can see this line that I want to even up. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Now this side I can see a little bit better than the other side. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing these strokes against the grain. You got to pick up whatever little bit I can, but more so the exfoliation, and it just feels good. Especially right down here on the front. I hate rubbing my hand on my head and feel these little singles, whiskers, hairs, just the, the roots of the roots, you know what I mean? And you can see by the goo there that's mostly just flesh right there. It's not really hairs at all, which is fine, You get all that exfoliation off and whatever hair roots are left. I say roots, whatever millimeters might be sticking up. Oh yeah, that whole thing feels great. Now, let's get the back of the neck here. And I am going to use just a little bit of lather back here, which I sometimes use and sometimes not use. But today I'm at home and I'm taking my time, and yes, we're going long, but that's all right. We've had some good things to say today. I'm in no hurry, and I hope you're not either. Feel free to run it faster if you want to, if you so choose to. I will say that Norton translucent is a fine honing stone. as are all of my other Dan's whetstones that I have. I have the True Hard 8x3x1. I have a Hard Black in 8x3x1/2. And then I've got the little translucent and hard black and travel stones that I carry with me in my shave bag for the truck. Now, I don't use those very often anymore, except in certain circumstances in the truck, which don't happen very much because the razors that I carry with me in the truck are already well honed. But what I'll use them for is if I do have a shave while I'm out on the road in the truck stops and it's less than satisfactory, I also carry a travel conical as well. So a translucent, a hard black, and a conical in a 4x2. And the Arkansas are a 1/2 inch thick, and the conical is about 1 inch thick with the backing, with the slate backing. And I got that one from Jared, didn't I? At the Superior Shave. And that was my first foray into conicals too, but that's a story for another time. As I approach the end here, all right, let's just check this little staining. Yeah, it hasn't dissipated. That's all right. I live and learn. All right, now, where do I start? Oh. We got some Ozma alum block, who's the villain of the day, as he's stained by Boker. Well, that felt good. There's a little scratch from several days ago, still healing up. All right. I'm running another hot bowl of water to rinse out my shaving brush. And what a delightful shaving brush this is. And it ought to be the Plisson. All right, where am I going? Thayer's Lavender is the next step in the application of the refinements. We just did the alum block Ozma. Trying to wipe off my mirror and I'm about ready to knock everything over. All right, Thayer's. A couple of hits on it. So set that aside, let it dry down. And we're going to splash on some Lucky Tiger. Nice citrus orangey smell. And we're doing this for no other reason than I want to. No, it's got some alum in it. I think that's what it is. Soothes, aloe vera. I said alum, I meant aloe vera is what I meant. Calendula, I don't know what that is, and calamine, that's fine, good stuff. And it smells good. I don't use it so much as an aftershave because the fragrance does not last at all. And so it's a tonic. And so that's the way in which we will use it, as a tonic. All right. Then we got some Aqua Velva Blue Ice. That's a nice, inexpensive aftershave. Yeah, that feels great. Set that aside and we're almost done. Almost done. I'm gonna put the lid back on the soap. And that is, we've got Clubman cornstarch powder. It's not a true talc, but everybody uses it as a talc. And so we'll set that aside, and I think I'm going to have a balm. Whoops, let me get my razors covered that I've got over here because I don't want talc going everywhere, but it will. Yeah. Yep, we got it going everywhere. I'm glad I covered everything as well as I wanted. All right, we're going to take one more step here because I'm just white as a ghost, aren't I? Okay, there we are. This is one of the longest videos I've done, but thank you for staying with me. And we did the Boker Count Engelbert II for the face shave. Beautiful razor. Got it covered up over here. Let's break it out. There it is. Just a wonderful, beautiful razor. Disappointed on the stain. It's still there on the back side. We did the Union razor on the head for the head shave, and it does that translucent edge was just fabulous. Thayer's Lavender, Lucky Tiger, and then the Vetyver, Martin de Candre Vetyver, the last but not least, the Plisson number 20, 30 millimeter High Mountain White Badger, just a beautiful and genuine horn, I must say. And the Aqua Velva Blue Ice and the Clubman powder on the end. So, we also use the Gentleman Hager pre-shave oil. And I got to say, overall, the shave was just fantastic. And I attribute that to the Boker razor and the refresh on the translucent, Norton translucent. So thank you for staying with me. Thank you for watching, and I will see you down the road.